Hi, I'm Daniel from ligo.co.uk and this is the Polaroid P1 Bluetooth speaker. Now obviously when you hear the name Polaroid, your first thought is going to be instant cameras. However, they have branched out into licensing their name to a few other products in the past, but this is a brand new entry from them that's actually done in-house, and it's a new line of Bluetooth speakers. There's 4 different ones to choose from. This is the smallest one, P1. There's also P2, P3 and P4. But is this any good? Let's take a closer look. Now I always start these video reviews off by talking about the design, and that's really the perfect place to start with these. As you can see, it's a very nice looking speaker indeed. I really like the design of this, which draws inspiration from Polaroid's cameras, which they're better known for. Specifically the Polaroid Now camera with its distinctive silhouette with the white and then the coloured circle in the middle. Obviously on the camera this would be the lens, but here it's the speaker grille. This comes in 4 different colours, the P1, red one here, a black one, a blue one and a yellow one. Each of them have the same white on the front panel, but then if I turn it around, you'll see that the rest of the body is also that primary colour, rubberized around here, whereas it's hard plastic on the front and sort of fabricy on the speaker grille. Also on the front there is a little battery icon. This lights up different colours and flashes depending on the context, so if I turn it on, it'll play a little tune. It'll flash while it's looking to connect, turn solid when it has connected, and it will flash red when the battery is running low, so you know it's time to recharge, and when it is charging, it turns green. As with a lot of Bluetooth speakers, there's also some built-in controls on here. On the corner, you've got a volume wheel, nice and tactile. On the top, you've got the power button, which also acts as play and pause, and forward and backward buttons. And then on the side, a little Bluetooth button. So if it's already connected to something, you want to pair up something else, just press this and it'll disconnect. One thing I should mention is that this power button here is obviously on the red one, the same color as the casing, but it's red on all the others as well. So it stands out a little bit more on those. Then on the side here, if I open up this little flap, you'll see there is a USB-C charging port. You get the cable for that in the box, but you can just use any. A reset button, you'll need to press this with a pin if you need to reset the speaker, and a 3.5mm aux-in port for connecting up devices without Bluetooth. Now the reason why it's under this little flap is that the P1 is IPX5 rated, which means it's waterproof. IPX5 is splash proof, so you couldn't drop this in the swimming pool, it would break, but you could have it out in the garden. If it starts to rain, it's not going to get damaged. Or alternatively, if you wanted to say take it into the bathroom with you and listen while you're having a shower, you could just pop it on a table on the sink or something away from the shower, and all the steam from the shower isn't going to damage the speaker. And while I'm on the subject of charging, it's worth noting you can use this while it's plugged in and charging up, but that's not always the case with Bluetooth speakers, so it's good to have here. Finally, on the corner here, you've got a little rainbow coloured loop, Polaroid's visual trademark, and in the box as well you get this little belt clip which I've attached. It means you can connect it up to your belt, or more likely a backpack, or you could even hang it up from the roof of a tent. The size and shape of this do really lend itself to portability. All of Polaroid's new speakers are designed as portable. This is a really good one, I think. You get up to 10 hours battery life with it. During testing, I found that is more or less true if you're listening at lower volumes. If you turn it up a little bit, probably going to be more like 7 or 8 hours, but still a good battery duration for a speaker of this size. So that's all about the design, but obviously a Bluetooth speaker needs to actually sound good to make it worth your money. Now this retails at about £50 RRP, so we need to bear that in mind when thinking about the sound quality. Obviously it's not going to be up there with much more expensive speakers, and it is portable as well, which does have an impact on the sound. But for what it is, I thought it sounded pretty good. It's got a 10 watt maximum output, which is really loud for a speaker of this size. And true to that, when you've cranked it all the way up, it does a really good job of projecting sound. So if you were, say, doing some garden work, pop this in one corner of the garden. As you're moving about, if you've got it turned up, you'll still be able to hear all your music nice and clearly. Be good for a barbecue or outdoor party as well, for that reason. There is a bit of distortion that starts to creep in when you turn the speaker up and you're closer to it, but you probably won't notice that further away. And again, you'd only really have it turned up if you were filling a really big space with music. I did find while I was listening to music through Spotify on this, I had to play about with the EQ settings a bit, depending on what I was listening to get good enough sound quality for my liking, but most people probably won't care too much about that. So for what it is, it does the job. One final point, as you can see, it's only a mono speaker because it's only got one speaker, but if you've got two of these and you press them back to back for a few seconds while they're turned on, they play a little noise and pair up with each other to give you actual stereo sound. A lot of speakers, when you link two together, it's still only mono sound just coming out of two, but with this, it really is stereo sound, so you have left out of one, right out of the other. So there we have it, the Polaroid P1, a very snazzy little Bluetooth speaker that would be a great choice for using out and about. If you've got any questions or comments about this product, pop them below, and to get your hands on one for yourself, go to ligo.co.uk.